All right. Uh, there we go. Ta-da! All right. Welcome to 8 Questions with. I'm your host, Patrick from Have Cheetah Will View. Um, Today's guest, he hails from Austria. He is the well-known, and to me anyway, one of the most famous film critics and film journalists I know, and that is Michael Haberfelner from Research My Trash.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Wow, this is like quite an honor for me, because as you and I were talking about before, and this is something we're going to talk about, but this is so confusing. Is that I've seen your work in magazines, and you're like, no, and I'm going like, but I have. I'm not, and it's like, I so want to tell you over and over and over that it was in Fangoria, because the Fangoria was the only horror magazine I read. I never read any of the other ones. I never read Dread Central or Rue Morgue
Mhm.
no. I read Starlog. I read
Yeah.
Starlog, and I read Femme Fatale. Those are the
Okay.
only.
Yeah.
So those were the only three magazines that I actually read. I would drive to
Mhm.
the local bookstore. Um, and you're right. It probably would have been in the early 2000s. I think I mentioned the 90s, but I think that was my first time I went to a convention. I went to a
Oh,
con
yeah.
first time, a
Mhm.
Fangoria convention in the 90s. But as far as reading you, I do believe I discovered you over when I used to go to Barnes and Noble and I would get the
Mhm.
Fangoria. I could be. I'm so perplexed by that. I wish to God I wish I had some Fangorias so I could,
Yeah.
because
It's so weird because I have to say to everybody out there, I've never written for Fangoria. Not to my knowledge. Maybe they've printed some of my stuff, and if so, bless them. Hi, Rami.
oh, okay, good, you can see that. Yep. Hi,
Yeah.
Rami. So this is I was just like totally like,
Hey,
why
Jennifer.
is this driving me nuts? Because it's like, and then I go to your website and I go like, yes, that's exactly the same layout. The same layout with a little column
Wow.
and research my trash. And it was like one of my favorite columns to read, my little
Wow.
sections to read, because it was always talking about an
Mhm.
obscure. It was like
Yeah.
research my trash meant like you could go there and you could read about a film that you never heard of before. Michael Haberfelner was going to expose you to some culture. Hi
Oh,
Jennifer, how
question.
are you?
Hey, Jennifer.
Uh,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
thank you,
Thanks,
Amy.
Rami.
So I'm just like, okay. So like when I saw your name, I'm going like, I want to ask him to help if he'll come over and do this interview with us, because I was just
I
like,
feel very honored.
yeah, I'm honored because I have so much respect for your writing.
Thank
Um,
you. Oh, thank you.
I mean, you've written. I mean, you're like a gold standard. I went over and was looking at some of the reviews, and I'm going like, my gosh, he's reviewing he's reviewing episodes, TV
Yes, I
episodes,
do.
not seasons, but episodes. And I'm
Yes,
going like,
I do.
that's the dedication right there.
Mm-hmm. Because
Um,
in today's television, you could probably go a little bit different, but in like in the olden days, an episode was an episode, and you don't do a series justice if you do it by season.
yeah, I that's what I tend to do. I tend to review by season, and
Mm-hmm.
I've never attempted to do uh, a show based on an episode, writing for per episode.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't that I now has got me really curious, because there's one thing I like to collect. I like to collect like one season hits, one
Hmm.
season series. That's all they
Yeah,
came out 1 year,
yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
I like finding those and collecting them because I think they're
Mhm.
fascinating. And I'm thinking, well, you know what? Maybe that would be a good place to start. To
Mhm.
grab a series that only had like 10 episodes, and then
Yeah,
review each
absolutely.
episode.
Mhm. Yeah.
So my question to you is, you're in Austria.
Hmm.
Uh, how did you get your start into writing? I mean, how old were you when you really became, when you became fascinated with the movies?
Uh, I've always been fascinated with the movies, so that's like that's pretty much my nature from like in a very early age. Uh, I think since I learned that movies are not reality, but somebody makes them up, I would think like, hey, that's cool. That's cool. I wanna I wanna learn more or something like that. So that was, I mean, really kindergarten age, and I think the fascination just never stopped.
So
And it was I
did you
just
watch
don't.
like American? Were you watching like American cartoons or Japanese animation or?
Yes, both were very prominent back then on Austrian television, and I was just like getting into that. I think cartoons is always a good place to start because they're so I don't know, they don't have to be real, they don't have to rely on reality, so you get all these stupid ideas.
Oh yeah, well yeah. When you watch it when you're younger, yeah, we watch younger. That's true.
Mhm.
Um, well, I am having a dickens of a time on my side today. We're good. We're good. I'm just gonna just go off based on that. My For some reason my on my phone it's not liking me too much, but we're good. We're good. Hi Hobbs, how are you, sir?
I
Um, yeah, I was like that too. I mean, I think most people were when they first started watching TV. I mean, they were when they were really young, they would
Mhm.
see it and then they would just be fascinated.
Wait, I can't hear you anymore. There's yeah, there's some problem with the sound on your side. No, 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 no. Um, whoops. Oh, now I'm alone. Anybody wants to ask me something? I answer to everything. But hey, guys, nice that you're all here. He's coming back.
All right. Yeah, no,
Yep.
someone tried to
Got it.
call in on me when it does, it knocks down
Oh, yeah,
my sound disappeared.
yeah,
I was like 17. I mean, I was like 7 when I first really discovered TV. Uh,
yeah,
what
yeah.
what what
Might be the
TV shows
same.
did you like?
Sorry.
What TV shows did you like as a youngster? I mean, what was your favorites?
Oh my God. Well, also pretty much everything we had in Austria, which wasn't that much, because back then we only had two TV channels, and they played all these cartoons like Heidi and Pinocchio and stuff. So that was my entry into the cartoon world. Let's say it like that.
Matthew from the UK is asking a very good question. He's asking, says, "Hi, Michael. What's the first film you remember being struck by?"
Oh, that's a very good question because I can't answer it. No, I think I can't honestly answer it, but what I really remember is one of my earliest movies, and I think the first or second movie I ever saw in the theater was like The Jungle Book, the cartoon version. So, and I have just the fondest memories about that movie.
Now, me, I can still remember the first movie that I remember.
Yeah.
I can remember it. I remember it because not because of anything in the movie itself, but because we
Mhm.
went to a drive-in, and I remember,
Ah,
and it was a movie called The Blue Max.
is it the one with the helicopter?
You're thinking Blue Thunder. Blue
Oh,
Max
okay.
was a World War One movie with George Papard. He played a German ace pilot.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one, obviously.
Um, the but I was more into TV. Like I was watching Adam 12, Emergency,
Mhm.
um, the FBI. Um, so I remember my early TV shows that I watched when I was younger.
Mhm.
Uh, so you only had two TV stations in Austria when you were growing up.
Yes.
Gosh,
That was
that's
that
almost
was.
that would be almost like the Bronze Age.
I know, and they didn't play all day.
Oh no,
They
they didn't even play. What time did
yeah.
you used to play? What time did they play to? Like around like 10?
No, they played like I think they played from 8 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, and then again at 5 in the afternoon till 12 or something like that.
Wow.
So it was
Oh.
really, it was really, not much choice there.
It says here, Rainey's asking
Ah,
Michael, what made you choose to write the horror and comedy genres, mixing them? You must write horror comedy.
yeah.
To come out with some of the fantastic ideas and school crypts you write. I tell you what, that's a really good question, but I want to come to that.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. I have to say,
because
Rami has played in several of my movies, so he's a good friend of mine.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I just want to catch up more on your background
Mm,
first. I just like to
okay.
know where you got your start at. I mean, how old were you when you discovered that you like to write? I mean, do you
Uh,
remember? Do you remember? You know,
I probably was like 7 or 8 when I was like realizing that I like it as long as I don't have to write for school, but could just write whatever I want.
isn't that
Eh,
something? Isn't that always the way it is?
I
You like
guess
to do
so.
something as
Yeah,
long as you're not required to do it.
exactly. If I had to review movies for school, I wouldn't like it.
No, no, because yeah, you're right. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, imagine being told that, okay, I want you to write this. I want you to write a red review on
Mhm.
Halloween Kills. You're being told to write it. Like
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
don't want to do it because you told me to. I want to do it because I want to do it.
Exactly.
So did you just write stories when you were younger?
Yes, I did.
And how
I
did you?
did. Sorry.
And how did your parents encourage you to continue to write?
Well, uh, uh, I didn't need much encouragement, but they enjoyed what I wrote, so that I think was enough encouragement for me to just keep on writing.
So
So
were you a good student? Were you a good student in school?
I'd say average. I didn't put much effort into it. I probably could have been better, but you know.
Uh,
So
all right. I mean, that's an honest question. That's an honest answer. I mean,
thank you.
um, yeah. I mean, I was pretty much an average student myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't too spectacular. I was very much like that. I mean, I was very much like you. If it was a subject that interests me, then I was really good at it. But if it was something I didn't like, I was in deep trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean,
Now,
for me,
when did you start? What was the first review that you wrote?
what was the first review that I wrote? Oh my god, that I cannot remember. It was just, I was because I mean, basically, when I started my website, I just, before I even came out with a website, I started just reviewing, and I think I only went online when I had like 800 reviews. So the website looked like something. because back
Right.
then there were all these websites that had like that started out great, and the first month did 50 reviews, and the second month they had 6 reviews, and the third month they had 2 reviews, and then they petered out. And I didn't. I wanted to have something. When you come there, you already see, okay, there's something there. I'm gonna come back. So I don't know what the first movie was.
Good afternoon, Shiwin. How are you?
Hi, Shiwind.
Yeah. I can. You know what though? You're right, Michael. You're absolutely right about that. Um, in some respects, I don't know. I like to think that I'm not like that. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I was never that prolific. But you're right. There's a lot of blogs out there that I've come across
Yeah.
where someone comes out there and they start off gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
They start writing, like every review out there. And you're right. After the second or third month, all of a sudden, it goes from being fun to
Mm-hmm.
being a job, and then they get bored because they're not getting
Yeah.
any money out of it,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
or getting work for whatever they're doing it for. They lost it. So how do you keep motivated for your reviews?
I really there's no recipe. I just always wanted to write about movies, so I just did. So that's all the motivation I need. And the thing is also, I get all these movies I wouldn't get if I didn't review them from
Uh,
filmmakers, from new filmmakers. So I really enjoy that. So that's another source of
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean,
motivation.
you getting the physical copies of them.
Not even the physical copies anymore. No, that has like pretty much petered out 10 years ago. Uh, I mean, years ago I got like tons of physical copies, but nobody sends them anymore because it's much faster to send them just via Vimeo or something. So
I huh. Now, see, to me, I think you have enough clout that if you wanted a hard copy, they send it to you.
yeah, but I don't want to press it too much. So I'm not, it's okay. And the other
Um,
thing is,
so,
my whole apartment is full of DVDs and Blu-rays anyway, so I wouldn't know where to put them.
yeah, we have that problem here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many films do you think you
Hi,
ha-
Richard. Sorry,
how many films do you think are in your collection? You think?
my collection, it's I think between 4 and 5,000.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Right.
Yeah, that's probably what I got to. I got about between 4 and 5,000 myself.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely insane. I didn't get that many though. I haven't gotten that many from different film companies or whatnot. I mean, I've gotten a few, but not like that.
No, me
I
neither. I
got
mean,
maybe like
most are self-bought. Back in the day when I really was collecting them.
All right, so we can't remember the first one you wrote, but can you remember the first one that you did write? I mean, can you remember the first review that you can? What's the first review that you do remember?
Oh my God, there are so many. No, I can't give you an exact thing on that because it's really after 10,000 reviews or so, you just lose track. I mean, what I do know is like back in the day, I reviewed. Back in the day, I didn't get all these much new indie films, and so I just reviewed like old westerns nobody remembers anymore, or like martial arts movies from China that were really not that not old martial arts movies people are not familiar anymore. So
Right.
yeah.
I see. You and I are brothers.
Mhm.
you and I are review brothers. I do the same thing, Michael.
Mhm.
I see. That's what I love, like looking at your website. And
Mhm.
yes, I will be putting up Michael's website up, and I'm giving you guys fair warning right now, right here. Once you go over to researchmytrash.com, you will be there for a very long time.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
will be, yeah, you will be there for a long time.
Yes.
Um, uh, Michael has written conservatively, he's written over, um, I'm going to say 5,000. I'll just say this for
It's more
5,000
like
reviews
10,000.
and interviews.
It's more like 10,000. So
Um, 10,000. That is absolutely insane. And
yeah,
yeah. You, like I said, you'll be there, and I agree with you. I absolutely love writing about the obscure movies, the movies that
yes,
never get any love.
absolutely.
Now, now,
That was the other thing that I didn't
how did
like about all the other websites, because everybody was writing about the same five cool movies of the week, or of the month. So
right?
and that, yeah, it just, it wasn't like I didn't want it like that. I just wanted to have like the exact opposite. So if nobody talking about Western, I do a Western. If nobody talks about a martial arts movie, I do that. If nobody talks about, I don't know, whatever, I'm gonna do it. I'm sure gonna do it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the see. There's some of the people in the chat here,
Hmm.
um, uh, like Jennifer and Hobbs, and
Oh
that they
yeah.
write. They're film reviewers too.
Oh
They
cool.
review films for small independents and whatnot. They do the '80s archives, so they'll review films from the
Awesome.
'80s. So
Awesome.
I mean, I'm with you.
Mhm.
Um, I do family films. I just got done reviewing a martial arts film from 1976.
Oh nice, nice.
So I mean, I get that going back and breathing new life in old movies that people have forgotten.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Now, they said that millennials, um, their movie viewer span is about 15 years. Anything past 15
Yeah,
years, they probably either have never heard about it, or they consider it an old movie.
That's like, and I'm running my site for over 15 years, so all the movies I did back then must be old for them. So that's fun.
Yeah, but think how much treasure
I
it must be.
know, no,
It's like a treasure hunt.
yes, yeah, absolutely.
If you're a new movie fan, right? If you're a new movie
Mhm.
fan, and they say, well, what site would be I want to learn about older movies. What's a good site for me to go to? Oh hell, you got to go to Research My Trash. You got to
Absolutely,
go
that's
there
the place to
and take a notepad and take a pen and just write down all the cool ass movies that you never have heard of,
do it.
because
Yeah, yes.
Michael has done the work for you and reviewed them and give you a jump off point. Um, so that being said, so that being said, I want to know, like, what are some of your favorite gems that you just discovered, that you just like
Oh,
when you that
there are so many. I'd rather go by genre than by individual titles.
all right, what's your
Because
favorite genre? Is
because
horror your favorite?
horror in general, yes, yes, but I think there's so much subgenres. So I'm not really into slasher movies, for example.
Mm.
There's some good, but most of them are repetitive. But uh, there's so much, the weirder stuff gets, the more I'm like into it. So
So would you say something like extreme horror would be something that would float your boat?
I'm not that much into extreme horror. There are some good ones out there, but that also gets repetitive, I think, because like, I mean, how many ways can you tear off a leg? You know?
I'm still waiting for one where they have a cheetah do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Good
Yeah,
idea.
I'm waiting for someone have cheetahs under have cheetah under control, and then
Mhm.
have them do their dirty work for them. No one's written a cheetah horror film yet.
I don't think so. No, I don't know any yet. So, and I would know, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
should actually ask you what are their what's the 10 best cheetah movies?
But yeah, I mean
Not
that's what I like animal horrors in general. They can be so much fun.
Animal Horse, yes, for
Yeah,
sure. Uh,
and I mean
now,
not the
now,
mainstream like Jaws or something, but the really obscure ones like where they didn't have the budget to train a wolf, so they just take a German Shepherd or something.
or how about the Deadly Eyes, where it was supposed to be giant rats, and all they did was put they got dachshunds and they threw rugs
Yes.
on.
Oh yeah, yeah, something like that. That's
Let's see. Rick, I mentioned the extreme horror because our good friend Rick here, he actually runs a film disc show company called Underground Subrosa, and he's into the extreme horror
oh
too.
yeah, I know, Sister Rosa. Yeah, yeah.
But don't worry, Rick, he's coming back. He loves animal horror, so we gotta love him for that. Yeah. Like, would you consider Jaws like a creature feature, or would you consider that animal horror?
I'd go for animal horror actually
Okay.
if I had to choose, but
Okay.
fine with
So
both.
what constitutes a good movie to Michael Haberfelner? What makes a movie good to you?
I think it's basically, and I'm sounding like very. I think these answers sounds very generic, but just something that makes me happy, you know. What I don't need is like millions of dollars thrown at it and super duper computer animation. I enjoy let's say an Ed Wood movie, which are not good movies in objective terms, but I fucking enjoy the hell out of them.
Like Planet Nine from Outer Space.
Plan 9 from Outer Space or Glen or Glenda or Bride of the Monster. So those are hilarious.
Glenn or Glenda.
Yeah, yeah. Never seen it? That's
I've seen half of it. It's definitely one for the books. I
yes,
have watched.
absolutely.
I have watched Plan 9 for Outer Space, and I can tell you without a doubt that Plan 9 from Outer Space is not the worst movie I've seen.
No,
Not by half.
absolutely
I've
not.
seen a
No,
lot worse
no,
than Plan
no,
9.
no. It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie by any
It's
standards,
not the
you know.
worst. Just not the
But
worst.
not the worst. No. At least at least there was love in that. However misguided, but he really tried to make this stupid story something very personal, and
Yeah.
you have to respect the man for that.
Yeah, I definitely would sit there and say that Guardians of the Galaxy was a lot worse than Plan 9 from Outer Space.
I enjoyed Guardian of the Galaxy actually.
Oh my God. We can't be we can't be. So so do you like the classics more? I mean, like, let's go more into how you write your review. I mean, what do you look for? I mean, as far as that goes, do you look for structure? What's more important to you as a reviewer? Is it a good script? Is it a good director? I mean, I know, sure, everything all together, but not rarely in a movie will you have everything all put together, especially an older movie or independent movie. There's always going to be a little bit of a hole in it. But what do you look for?
Well, what I enjoy also as a writer is for one good structure and good characters. So and I realize in many of the blockbuster movies, so to speak, you don't have that anymore.
No, I'm with you about that too. Like I don't review blockbusters either.
I do it from time to time just to have a comparison, but it's probably 2 a month or so.
I probably have done a little bit more since I started doing video reviews. I've done a little bit, but overall, though, no, I'm like you. I like to do the obscure, the forgotten, the family, that sort of thing. But I'm with you. I mean, I like a good. I try to decide whether what's more important to me as a viewer. Is it a good story or is it good acting? Is it good direction, good acting, or good story? I
Yeah,
mean, you can have a bad actors do a good story,
yeah. I
but
mean, that's but
but good actors can get ruined by a bad story.
exactly. That's my thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the greatest story of them all, but if the structure's not there and you just can't feel the characters, then the best actor can't do very much.
Right.
So, I mean,
No.
some actors I would watch in anything, really, and would enjoy in anything, but uh, and there are also some movies that have they don't they're very they're not structured at all, and they still make sense on another level. But in general, I think if you don't have a well structured story and interesting characters, then everything falls flat a bit.
Um, what's been your favorite? What's been your favorite gem that you've undiscovered?
Oh,
A movie that you tell everybody about that nobody would know about.
oh, that's good God. Uh,
Let me show you something.
yeah,
So
okay.
everybody in the chat, anybody who knows me in the chat, what's the one movie I always talk about? Just wait a couple minutes, they'll tell you.
Okay.
What's the one movie I'm always talking about? And they're probably sick and tired of hearing it.
Okay. They won't remind you of it anymore.
They'll sit there and say, "Oh, that movie again." But yeah, we might get some people who know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's me. That's the fun part, is discovering gems that nobody else knows about.
Yeah.
Um, so what are some of the gems that you
Well,
discovered that you really
oh,
like?
now I remember the best gem I've ever discovered. I think it's called, what is it called? You ever seen Strangle of the Swamp?
The
It's the Strangler of the Swamp.
Strangler of the Swamp. No,
Yeah,
I have not heard of that.
yeah. No, it's a very obscure movie from 1946, and it's about this fairy woman, and it's very weird, very cheaply made ghost story, which is oh, wonderfully creepy in its yes in its whole approach and everything, that I think it should be up there with other horror classics from the 1940s, but it isn't.
Hmm.
So that's really one I was like, I saw this, I didn't expect anything, and I was like blown away because it was made very minimalistic, because they didn't have budgets, well, very limited budget, so
Right.
they hit almost everything in fog. So so everything had like this weird atmosphere, because they're just like floating through the fog sometimes. And it's everybody should check it out if you're into vintage horror.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out. I mean, maybe that's something. We're doing a series here in our little community called
Mhm.
Multi-Pack Mania.
Okay.
You ever seen those big blocks of movies? They'll have like 50 movies in one block.
Yes, I get some of those. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that maybe Strangler of the Swamp might be on some of those. So I'm sure we'll be able to find it.
Pretty sure.
I
I
was gonna
think
say it
it's
might even
actually
be on YouTube.
it might be on YouTube. It's probably on Amazon Prime. So it's in this day and age, nothing is really hard to find, but you just have to know what you're looking for.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, as far as public domain goes, um, I mean,
Mhm.
they do a pretty good job at that. They do a pretty good job at that.
Absolutely.
I see a okay. I don't think. Okay, yeah. It looks like someone has yeah. It looks like someone has put it out there. So
Oh,
there's
okay,
a couple.
cool.
There's a couple of movies out there.
Oh, brilliant.
Yep. It's okay. There you go. So you can look at Strangler Over the Swamp. That's okay. So that's one good one she found.
Hmm.
That's from the 1940s. I mean, God, those movies are so forgotten.
I know, and that's all the more fun to discover them again. You know.
Uh, what's some of your older actors? I mean, what are some of the actors and actresses that you like?
Uh, you mean like really vintage?
Yeah, let's go back. I mean, because you obviously you love the older classics as much as I
Yeah.
do.
Yes. Well,
So if someone came up to you and said, Michael, I don't know anything about anything. So what actresses from the 40s and 50s would you recommend me watch?
that's a good. Well, if you're into horrors, you can never go wrong with like Boris Karloff, with with Bela Lugosi has made a lot of crap since the mid 40s, but some of it is so funny that you just have to watch it. Uh, I like John Carradine because he's been in everything.
Oh my gosh, yes,
and
everything.
and sometimes he's like visibly drunk, but he's still the best actor out there in the movie.
Hmm.
So these are, well, of course one has to love Vincent Price for all the hamming he does. Uh,
He was such a chameleon. I mean, because he could
yeah.
do any. I mean, he could do straight. He could do
Hmm.
comedy,
Yeah.
or I
Yeah.
mean, and the thing is, though, he was effective either way. I mean, he could be a people look at they slept on him. They sit there and say, well, he can't do a really heavy role, but he
uh,
can.
yeah, he can. He can.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Um,
really.
I think he
uh
set the table for a lot of actors. A lot of actors as far as actually, he's almost like a reverse. I think what makes him stand out is that he's reversed. Like, I don't know about you, I'm sure you feel this way, but don't you ever notice that how easy it is for comedy actors to do drama versus
mhm.
dramatic to do
Yeah,
comedy? Dramatic actors cannot do comedy very well. They
there are
struggle.
very few. Yes, yes,
But
yes.
comedy actors, they could do drama extremely well.
Oh, Last Man of the Earth, Rami just mentioned. That's a really good one. Yeah, I love
Um,
it. It's based on I Am Legend by Richard
right.
Matheson, and he plays it straight there.
Yes.
You know, he doesn't overact in that one, and but really just plays it straight, and that's a really cool. Peter Cushing, another great actor. Thank you, Richard. Love
Yeah. I
Peter
mean,
Cushing.
from the Hammer, you got all the Hammer actors. You got
Yeah,
Christopher Lee and
Christopher Lee, Peter
Peter Cushing.
Cushing.
Um, oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about Vincent Price. Because he actually sort of led. He's actually one of the leaders of that. Shit, he was doing beach movies, but then he turned
Yes,
around and do
he
something
was.
really cool and really
Mm,
strange, like The Fly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he-
And all these Edgar Allan
um,
Poe movies, and eventually, what? Oh, Emperors of London.
that's
That's with
Hobbs.
Bela Lugosi. Yeah.
Hobbs, the term "research my trash." He literally took that seriously. He's talking about some of the movies in his collection there. Come on, no Hobbs,
Oh,
no, nothing amazing. But there's a company called Wild Eye Releasing, and
oh,
they
I know
release
that.
a lot of low budget horror films.
Mm, 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 mm,
Uh,
mm.
have you ever heard of them?
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. That's the other thing I was going to ask you too. It's like, is there any particular film studio you like a lot? I mean, like, if you want to, if you want to get a good movie, and you want a good movie, is there like a studio that you like watching over others?
Uh no, not really. I think it's more like in which in which into which area into which in which mood you are. I mean, Hammer Horrors is like, you always know what you get, but if you're in the right mood, you just want a Hammer movie, or like the same thing with American international movies, like the beach movies, or like the Edgar Allan Poe movies, or like the creature features from the 1950s. You know what you get. So it really depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes I just crave for like some more Christopher Lee Dracula, or like some Universal horrors or stuff.
Right, right. So what's your process like then? I mean, how do you write the movie? I mean, how do you write a review? Do you watch the movie like once or twice? Do you take notes out of it, or you just watch it and then write what you saw? I mean, is there
Oh,
is there any particular way you get yourself, for you to write your review?
basically, normally it's like I watch it once, take very rudimentary notes, and then try to try to try to just remember what I've seen, and probably the more I remember, the better the movie was.
Right, right. Brave Studios. Um, let's see. Have Hobbs wants to know. Brave Studios. Is that a new studio?
No, no, Bray Studio wasn't
What?
that somehow linked to Hammer? Bray, I think so.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember hearing about Bray.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Richard, enlighten us.
So so you sit down, you watch it through, you take notes, and then you sit down and then you write it out. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
mostly it's just rudimentary roads, so I just don't remember, so I just don't forget the names and stuff,
right.
because that's the biggest problem. And at the end, you're like, okay, there was this guy and this guy and this guy. Oh, and who were they?
Right,
What were
right.
the
Yeah,
names? Just
I'm with you about that. You have to be able to have the name so you don't like surround it, especially if you do a video review. When you
Mhm.
try to do a video review without notes, you come across like, okay, and then what was that actor's name again? I have
Yeah,
to
exactly.
you have to stop recording and go back and look at it.
Mm,
Um,
mm, mm.
Rick wants to know, do you remember a movie for being bad or being good? Where do you remember? Yeah, that's a good question. Do you
Uh,
remember? Is it easier?
oh,
Is it easier for you to remember a movie for being bad or being good?
actually, I think sometimes it's usually it's for, if it's really bad, I remember.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Richard. Uh, yeah, if it's really bad, I remember. If it's excellent, I remember too. But in between, it's just, it over time it just gets it just gets, you don't really remember the individual films anymore.
yeah,
If you're really watching like 2 months, sometimes three a day, the memory just gets hazy. So if it's awesome, then good. If it's bad, then you probably remember too. But everything in between.
that's another question I was going to ask you: is how many movies a day do you watch?
uh I try to watch two at least, sometimes three. Depends on time, obviously.
Yeah, mm, yeah. This has like been the worst year for me.
Oh no.
Or as far as like watching movies. Like normally I could watch, anywhere between 190 to 230 a year, not
Mm,
a problem. But this year has been the worst. I mean, here it is already going to be September,
mm.
and I watched 65.
Oh, that's not that much, I have to admit. Yeah.
No, it's really low. In fact, I have to step up the game a little bit if I'm even going to do it, because
Mm,
the year you want to do a top 10 or a bottom 10. I don't have enough movies there to sit there to literally give it one. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching 55 movies, and I'm going to take a third of them and rate them. That's
Mm,
not, yeah. So
yeah.
I have to watch a little bit more.
Mm,
Um, I can't tell you why I have not watched anything this year. I just have not watched nearly as much as I usually do.
yeah, yeah. It happens. So.
So I did watch this yesterday. So I watched it a
Oh, it's the
rewatch.
Sky Captain. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Captain of the World Tomorrow. I absolutely love that movie. That movie was beautifully filmed. Just a real tongue-in-cheek acting. I just
Mm,
really the hell out of that. I had not seen it in a few years, so it was really
it
fun to
was.
go
Yeah, I
watch
mean,
it.
I've seen it like at least 10 years ago last time. So I mean, I can remember some of it, and what I liked about it was all this. It kind of felt like an old school serial, you know.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly what.
that's what I really liked about it, because I love serials, even the weaker ones.
I watched my first one. I watched my first one last year. I watched
Oh, really?
15 part. It was Batman and Robin from 1949.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've seen that.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, in the 40s, late 40s, series had already gotten so formulaic that they really weren't there anymore. You know, it was just painting by the numbers by then.
Yeah. Well, I was telling my buddy who I was telling him I watched it.
Mhm.
It made me laugh. It says, "What? Why did it make you laugh?" I said, it wasn't because of the tech. I mean, the costumes were great. I mean, they had them wear
Mhm.
costumes. But what
Yeah.
was really funny about it, and I told my buddy, was that Robin kept on getting his ass kicked. It's like every time Robin would get into a fight, he just get way low. He just get pounded. It was just
Yeah.
it was just funny. It was just like, holy cow! I mean, something you weren't expecting to see. But I thought the writing was fun. I mean,
Mhm.
serials, I could definitely see why kids were running back to the theaters, and why
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was such a huge hit.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
because they have that nostalgia to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so who do you think makes the best movies? As far as nationally.
Oh, naturally. That's a very very interesting question, because I've never thought about it that way. I
Hmm.
mean,
Putting you on the spot now.
yeah, almost about now. I mean, if you want to go for something weird, it's always Japanese,
Yeah.
because they made something of the, yeah, you know, and
Though
and
you can't sleep on South Korea though. You can't sleep
sorry.
on South Korea. You can't sleep on
Oh,
South Korea.
yes,
They make
yeah,
some
they made
outstanding.
they made they've really they make really good quality movies. So for a time, Hong Kong was great, but who knows how it's going to go there, politically and everything.
Right.
So, uh, so yeah, I really like Asian movies as a whole, but then there are always these. I mean, in a way, I love like Mexican masked wrestler movies.
Oh, okay.
So,
Uh,
I mean, the
Libra.
Lucha Libre, yeah.
Yeah.
They're so cheesy and so totally what? You know? So I know who can do the secret mission. It's the Silver Masked Wrestler. What?
Yeah. What?
How secret can you get?
Let's see. Uh,
Oh
yeah, that's right. I'm having so much fun working. Um, it says Richard says British had the best tech.
yeah.
I think Richard's tongue in cheek in us right there.
Oh, no, Richard is British.
Oh, is he? I think he's pulling our leg though.
Maybe.
Are you talking about best tech? Are you talking about best tech today, Richard? Or are you talking about overall? Because I think he's
No,
having fun. I think he's having fun with us.
yeah, well, no, but of course the British make the best movies because actually I've made all my movies in Great Britain, so of course they make.
I like a lot of Great Britain. I like a lot of British movies.
Mhm.
But I just think of the tech. I just think of you watched Doctor Who in the 70s.
Oh my God, my favorites.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mine too. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's the first time I ever seen a truly shoestring budget.
yes, yeah, that's true. But I mean, what I like about the '70s Doctor Who, they usually had good writing, actually. Well, not usually, half the time.
But you know what? It might have been really good writing, but you never knew it because you're too busy looking at the no effects, no special effects. Like watching Tom Baker, and it's just like, oh my God! It's like
I
it didn't
love
have no
Tom
money for
Baker.
what? It was like Ed Wood would be jealous of them. I mean, he would be just coming in and go like, how do you make your movies for half of what I make for mine? And Ed Wood spent no money on his.
But see,
But that's in the
I
70s.
love Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who,
Oh,
especially
I
the
do
Tom Baker
too.
ones.
But that's what I loved about it though, because the Tom Baker ones, they were so there's just I mean the sets were just
Oh,
horrifying.
that's true though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then he goes, oh, eyes wide open. You will never guess what drug he just taken. So I love that about it.
Oh yeah, the British, yeah, but the Brits, man, the Brits can make great movies though. That's obviously. I mean,
That's true.
you got Hammer Films, you got the James Bond movies. I mean, that's just two of the.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
BBC for you. Yeah, we had a feel. We had a feeling you were. I had a feeling. We had a feeling you were pulling our leg there, Richard. But I mean, but who doesn't love Doctor Who? I mean,
exactly.
especially the older Doctor Who. The thing is, though, I don't know how much because I think they shot that on video. I don't know how much is left. I've never seen anybody replayed the Doctor Who series from the 70s. I don't know if any of them were saved.
No. They were all safe. They're all out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh, every single one. Okay, because I have never seen
of 70s, I think 60s. Some of them they just destroyed. I mean,
right.
on purpose, because they just needed the tapes again or something like that.
Right.
But the 70s, I think almost all survived.
Oh my gosh! That is news to me because
I was wondering. I got a big collection, so.
Okay, so now how about now we're talking some of the older actors, but what about some of the younger actors? What about some of the actors today? Are the actors today better than the old time actors, you feel? Are they better trained? Are they better in movies? I mean, do you like today's movies better than yesterday's movies?
I personally don't know, but I think there's been a shift like today for more realism, and that theoretically should be good, right? But if you're given some of the scripts of today's movies, you're thinking, and you want to put realism into that, put Vincent Price into that, and then it would be a good movie. But of course, they can't put Vincent Price into that. But you know what I mean,
right?
So it's especially by like these comic book movies, they hardly have any really good villains anymore or stuff. They don't.
And if they do get good villains, they kill them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't have like a Vincent Price or a Christopher Lee or Boris Karloff or Peter Cushing today,
Mm.
and I think that's a little bit lacking in today's film world.
I think we got some good. I think we do got some guys that are pretty good. They play pretty good bad guys.
Yeah,
Uh, but even then, the line's been blurred. I mean, like to me, I thought Sean Bean always played a good bad guy.
Mushroom Bean is good. Yeah.
Um, until he passed, Alan Rickman always played. He always had a pretty. He could
He was
play
good.
a.
Yeah.
But then you're right. I mean, more and more, it seems like this Samuel L. Jackson played really good. Played
Mhm.
a bad guy. Um, I tell you, who really shocked the shit out of me was the first time I saw him play a bad guy, because I never watched him play a bad guy before, and then when I did, I was like blown away. Was Vince Vaughn?
I have not seen that movie. Whatever, whatever you're talking about now, I have hardly seen any of his movies.
Yeah, he did the Psycho remake. He did one movie called Domestic Disturbance.
Okay.
He's done some movies where he's been the bad guy, and because most of the time he's done all those comedies, where he's him from.
Yeah, that's where I
But
know it from. So
yeah, it goes down to where again it's where comics can do dramatic roles much
Mhm.
better. Dramatic
Oh
can do.
yeah.
So I wasn't really surprised. I guess looking back at it, I mean, when I first saw him, because I saw him in Swingers, I
Hmm.
saw Vince Vaughn in Swingers. Everybody loves Vince Vaughn in Swingers. And then I think the second movie I saw him do was Domestic Disturbance, and
Okay.
I was just
Yeah.
remembering going like, oh, it's the guy from Swingers. Oh, that guy is funny as hell. And then here he comes, and he's playing opposite John Travolta. Now
Okay.
John Travolta, he's played the bad guy many times, and you're sitting there going like, okay, he's a bad
Mm.
guy. But they switched it. They
Oh,
role
okay.
reversed it. Tom John Travolta was the good guy, and then Vince Vaughn was the bad guy, and it
Mhm.
really worked.
Yeah,
Um,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, or they turn the villain into a nice guy. Yeah, they make him into an anti-hero.
Mm.
Yeah, that could be a little. That's a little bothersome too. Sometimes you don't want your heroes to be, or you don't want the bad guy to be redeemed. It's
That's
good to have a,
true. Yeah.
it's good to just we're talking about, we're talking about the Spider-Man movie, and
Mhm.
the Spider-Man 2 came out, and Alfred Molina, who's one of our finest actors, who also can play a very good bad guy. Uh,
Mhm.
he can play a very good bad guy, but then he played Doctor Octopus, and he was a good guy. And then he
Yeah.
had an accident, and then he was driven insane by being a
Okay.
bad guy.
Mm.
And then toward the end of the movie, he became somewhat of a good guy again.
Okay.
And now you're wondering, is he going to be a good guy in the new Spider-Man movie? Is he going to be a bad
Yeah.
guy, or is he going to be an anti-hero?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
sort of want to sit there and go
Bye,
like,
Richard. Sorry. Bye, Richard. Thanks for joining us.
oh, thank you. You want to sit there and say, you know what? Don't defang him. Don't
Yeah.
let him play a bad guy. It's okay. It's okay to
Mm.
let him be a bad guy. Let him be a killer. I'm all right with that. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't
Sometimes.
kill him. That's the only thing I ask. I don't mind him being a bad guy.
Mm.
Don't kill him, because you need him.
That's yeah. 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 I agree with you there.
At least for comic book movies. I mean, James Bond movie, yeah, you can kill all the bad guys. Um, so
You know,
what?
I liked it when like Blofeld came back movie after movie, but played by a different actor. So that was
Right,
fun. That was
right.
fun.
Um, yeah, it always made things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
always interesting to see who's he going to come back as this time.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is the bald actor he comes back as this time?
yeah. I'm still trying to get over the fact that Telly Savalas played him one time.
Yeah, and like Donald Pleasance before it.
I'm not. I'm not sure who's playing. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw Blofeld in a James Bond movie. It's been a
Uh,
while.
Yeah.
I don't think Blofield's been a bald guy for a while.
Oh, yeah.
So what TV? I mean, where do you think about the world of TV? I mean, the world of streaming now, has that totally changed? Has that changed the whole landscape for you
Yeah.
as a critic?
Not for me as a critic, because I'm always looking for new stuff. So I'm happy with every change that comes. But but I mean, TV has changed, like in the last, I don't know, 15 years, so much that you can't really, well, it would be an exaggeration to say you won't recognize it anymore, but it's really gone in some good, in some interesting directions. I don't know if everything's good, but it's the good thing is it's gone away from this very formulaic thing that it was like from these hour-long drama series and half-hour sitcoms, and there was nothing in between. And so now with streaming and everything, new formats have developed, and also what used to be, well, I mean, it's gone away from this purely episodic, as they call it, monster of a week, or villain of the week, or crime of the week concept, to something more evolved.
Right. It's more. I remember watching episodic TV when I was growing up. It was always standalone.
Yes, exactly, and at the end of it,
that was the end of it.
Nothing has ever changed. Let's take the Hulk. Like at the beginning, it was like David Banner, I think he was called in the series. He arrived at a new job, and he initially did really good, but then somebody angered him, and then he became the Hulk. And at the end of every episode, he you just saw him like walking down the street, hitchhiking again.
Right.
And in between, the Hulk always befriended a little kid for some reason.
Yeah, made you wonder about him.
Yeah.
Why hang around the kids so much?
Yeah, exactly. It was.
Yeah, I guess because it was aimed for kids. They're marketing.
No, totally. And then they had to show, like, okay, he's not just a monster. He's there's something lovable about him. So he likes kids.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever met Lou Ferrigno, but Lou Ferrigno, he's a monster. I mean, he really is.
Yeah,
he's huge.
He's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Mm-hmm. I like it. That's true. He comes in. He's working some subpar job. Way beneath his mind. Because his mind is he's a brilliant genius. But he can't go ahead.
He's created Hulk,
and he's a Hulk.
Yeah.
And to me, you would think that he was trying to find a job like where shit like that wouldn't happen. Like, I'm going to become a fry cook. Well, wait a minute. Weren't you a fry cook like 3 or 4 episodes ago? And you spilled some grease on your hand, and you hulked out, and you blew up the kitchen. I mean, don't you think you'd rather be something like a volunteer at a hospital, like you just walk somebody to their appointment and back? I mean, do you think you would take a less high stress job? I'll be a cab driver in the most dangerous part of the city with the shittiest cab on 4 wheels.
We should be good.
How soon can I hulk out? They always had him hulk out about like the 20-minute mark, and then at the end of the episode, and then you're right, at the end of it, he earns this. I wonder how he ever got paid at the end of it, because everything, like every business that he was always worked for, it always went bankrupt or got destroyed by the Hulk.
Yeah. I mean, I hope he gets paid on a daily basis, because otherwise he's never gonna collect one check.
Damn you, dude! You just hulked out, ruined my kitchen. That'll be $5,000. I don't have $5,000, but you know what? If he asks for me again, I'm probably gonna hulk out again. I like that show. I liked it. I mean, I know Bill Bixby. I know that he felt like it was underneath him. and toward the end, he tried to make the scripts a lot more intelligent and and more heartfelt. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, at the end of the episode, that would be it. There'd be, I mean, the only arc they ever had was the reporter. He would appear in every episode, but there'd be like, you would think that from episode A to episode B, they would open up with episode B by sitting there saying, well, over in small town, police are still investigating the fact that someone blew up a restaurant,
Yeah.
And,
it was like there was it didn't during the whole run, maybe then with the TV movies a bit, but the whole run of the series, it never built upon each other, It just like went like a straight line, and every episode pretty much the same happened in a different scenario.
Right. Yeah. I mean I remember reading there was another show about that time called the A-Team, and one of the stars, you know what? He says, we got to do something different. We can't keep saving the same mom and pop store every episode. Like they're trying to take over mom and pop store again. Didn't we do that last week? But true. I mean, I agree. I mean, the TV world of today is definitely a lot more. The writing is definitely a lot more open-minded.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as with possibilities, like like Dick Wolf. I mean, Dick Wolf is finally I like Dick Wolf because he has connected all his properties together. He's connected them all together in the same universe. It makes like or NCIS. But I don't know. I think network TV, as far as we here in America, I think it's dying.
It is probably, yeah.
I don't think they can compete anymore. You watch a show like NCIS, people my age are watching it. Because it's safe. It's it's sanitized. It's on the 8 o'clock hour. But then you could turn on Netflix and watch The Boys or watch Invincible or any one of those movies, or hell, AMC with The Walking Dead. Now they have curse words on. Now they can sit there and say, "You son of a bitch," or eat my shit, or you sitting there going, like, what did he say? And network TVs just can't compete.
It's true, and I think sometimes there was a point where they weren't trying. So when AMC and later Netflix and stuff all came up, they didn't really try to compete, because at first they thought, we are who we are, and you can't get us. But suddenly they did.
I mean, has it changed? How has TV changed in Austria? I mean, are there more than 2 channels now?
That's what I want to say. Yes, there are more than 2 channels.
I noticed I didn't ask you. Do they play color TV as well?
When I was a kid, we didn't have a color TV. Most shows were in color, but we didn't have a color TV then. And
I didn't have a color TV until I was older either.
Yeah, but back then they always said, like, if you're watching some sports or something, and like the Austrian team is the one with the white shirts, for those who were like not having color TV.
What's it like for Austria as far as TV go? I mean, and my question to you is, I mean, I know you said that it's a small market over there. My question to you is, I mean, what's the condition? What's the state of Austrian TV or filmmaking? And 2, how big of a role how often do they contact you to review movies? And like a lot of times they'll have a critic to give a blurb or something, No, I
don't get asked in Austria. That's
really
happening. Yeah. Yeah, that's
God, that's ridiculous.
ridiculous. Yeah, no, but it's fundamental different from the film and TV scene in America or in the UK. It's just everything is just still ruled by the by for one the film fund, and for other the state-run TV station. So, and everybody's just relying on those. So there's not really that much of an indie scene around here.
Is this safe to say? I mean, is this safe to say that you are Austria's premier critic?
Well, it's probably not, but I would like to be. No, I'm probably the most versatile critic.
Yeah, that's
So that, yeah, but I don't know. I don't mean anything to Austrians apparently.
that's just insane to me.
I know it's totally. I get I get emails from people I don't know in America or in England all the time, and none from Austria. Well, there are a handful exceptions. I have to give them that, but it's not.
I would think that I would think not only through your reviews, but probably more importantly your interview, which I want to talk to you about too. Is like, I would think because of your interviewing skills and your willingness to interview, up and comers, I would think that you would become a value commodity. I mean, you would think that whatever studios or networks are in Austria, you would think that you come talking to you would be, like, all right, how are we going to market this new show, or how are we going to market this young cast? Well, let's definitely let's get Haberfelner to interview him for sure. How many hits a month do you get on your website?
I think about 15,000 or so.
15,000 a month or 15,000 a day?
A month.
A month. That's still outstanding, Michael.
I think it's pretty okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think is, it's like Austrian filmmakers often don't think on an international scale, and I think that's what makes me less interesting to them, because I just cater for the international market because it's all in English and stuff. So I wouldn't be that interesting for them making a German language movie or whatever. So that's my theory.
How do you go about picking the people who you not only do you want to interview, but how do you come up with the questions to ask them?
That's rather easy, actually, because I mean, I think I've got like it's in a way it's standardized, because you actually want to know the same things from all people. If it's an actor, you wanna know how they prepare for the roles, how difficult they found playing a certain role, how they got onto a project, and the same as it is with a director or what have you. So it's with time I get really I found the routine.
Oh, okay. Do you like? Are you? How do I put this? I mean, a lot of those questions are just, I consider, called softball questions, which means anybody, they're safe questions. Have you ever asked any? Are you afraid to ask any actor or director? Or do you find yourself willing to go down and talk to them about, like I'll ask you this question. I'll ask you, is there any movies that you won't review at all? Is there a limit to what you will review? And if so, what will give me an example of that? What's one movie that you would not recommend to anybody?
Uh, oof, 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 oof. That's, I mean, what I would not review are like real death movies. I mean, not just snuff, but if they just put together newsreel footage just to shock people and nothing else. So that's something I have no interest in, because
What about like movies like I mentioned this before. Some of the folks in the chat, they know this, but one of the movies that like everybody has a limitations, and for me, the one movie that was my limitation was I Spit on Your Grave. I can't watch that movie. I don't like those movies at all. I don't like rape revenge movies, and I'm sort of harsh about that too. You know,
okay.
I mean, are you afraid to go up? Are you afraid of any director and sit there and go like, why would you put that in your movie? Or do you mean?
I No, I think that's a fair question, actually. I think
I
that's a
think so
fair
too.
question.
Actually,
If you put something in your movie and it's gonna disturb people, and let's be honest. I mean, I liked The Spit on Your Grave, but yes, I mean, a rape scene is always very disturbing. So the question, why did you put that rape in your movie, is a very legitimate one.
yeah, you just don't.
So
You don't. I just feel like sometimes I think some interviewers play it safe.
mhm.
I like a good review. I like a good interviewer that isn't afraid to ask tough questions. You know, I like that.
Yeah.
I like the idea, but I also agree too. Like, like a first time actor. Like I've interviewed a couple of actors whose this is their first time dealing with the
Mhm.
press. Like the
Yeah.
first time they do an interview is with you. It's the first time they've done an interview for anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So however you like, I tell people who I interview on here. I've interviewed some first timers on here,
Mhm.
and I tell them, I try to reassure them that they're in good hands. I've done this a long time. I've done it,
Mhm.
not nearly as long as you have, but
Right.
I'm a rookie. I'm brand new
No,
compared to you.
you're
Holy,
not a rookie anymore.
I mean, he's like, how many interviews you got there, Patrick? Well, I've done about 170 of those. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you checked this? Have you checked out Michael Haberfelner? Uh, yeah. Isn't he done like 4,000 of those? Yeah. Yeah. Uh,
Okay,
that's just
interviews
awesome.
it's just 2,000, but yeah,
Interviews
still.
are fun. I loved interviewing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
I,
Especially
I,
if it's about a movie that sometimes somehow tickled my interest. Let's say it like that. If it's got about an interesting topic or so, it doesn't even have to be a good movie or my favorite movie. But if it's about something interesting, I'm
yeah.
like totally yeah. I want
I
to
don't
know
care if it's good
more.
or bad either. Um,
Mm,
uh, uh, okay. If you get a chance, I'll send this to you individually, but I'll send you the
okay.
interview that I did with film director Michael Casey. You'll love that one.
Okay. Okay.
That
Yeah.
because that one, yeah, that you'll love that one because that there's a story in there that I wish I could have had you watch it before because I would have liked to know how you would have handled this. Um,
Oh, real.
yeah, because make it real short. Um, I asked him for an interview,
Mm.
uh, and he said he'd do it. And then I said, awesome. And then I reviewed the movie that I was going to talk to him about.
Ah.
And the movie the movie. I love the concept. I love the story
Mhm.
idea. Story ideas
Yeah.
still do.
Mhm.
But it was like a little bit. It was rough. The movie is a little rough, and so I wrote my review for it. But it
Mhm.
was I didn't absolutely crush it, but I was a little harsh.
Mhm.
And but then the director came back and said, "Well, I'm a little nervous about doing an interview with you because you didn't really like the movie too much." So
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh," because I tell people all the time. I mean, I'm sure you tell too. If I'm a filmmaker and I say, "Well, here's my movie, Michael. Give me a good review, okay?" I mean, what
Mhm.
do you say to the
Well,
director?
that's not gonna work. I'll give you a good review if the movie's good. That's
Yeah,
that's.
yeah.
I'm not gonna be mean. that's the other thing. I'm not going to be mean. I try to be nice and objective. But if you really fuck up, then well, I can't really help you.
Yeah. If you Tom Baker that son of a bitch, you're gonna get nailed. I agree with that. I don't like being mean either. I don't think.
No.
I mean, I've seen some people. That's what they get off on. They get off on saying, "Oh, this is the shittiest movie by the shittiest cast and the shittiest director."
Yeah.
That's never.
There are plenty of those
never,
out there, and I think, but none of them last too long. But
no, and I tell people all the time. I've told this to. I mean, because the line between before it'd be like when you made a movie in the 70s, it was the movie and then maybe like 30 critics, the major newspapers or whatever. Now everybody's a critic.
Well, a
guy can get on YouTube and get 100,000 subscribers and call himself a self-describe him as a critic, but he's not a critic. He's not a critic. And or he'll sit there and he'll attack a movie and they'll play it up for laughs or chop on it. It's like, I don't go with that either. I don't mind calling a bad movie, but you can still have fun with it. I mean, there's a movie we all have fun with here in our community. It was made for $220. And it was called Ouija Shark, and everybody our whole community.
Actually, I think I saw Ouija Shark.
Did you really? What'd you think of it?
Let me just check.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that'd be awesome if you reviewed that.
Wait. Yeah, I saw it.
Oh yeah. All right. So what did you put? Did you give it a good thumbs up?
I think it was lots of fun. As I said in my review, if you buy a film by that name, you're not expecting Citizen Kane now, do you? But
I'm not even expecting Kane.
Yeah, exactly. so but it's a concept that's lots of fun, and so it's just. Oh, hi, John. It's just.
Hi, John.
It's just. I enjoyed it.
John is the first time to come over here. I've always seen him on the Night Watch Zone. Yeah. We gotta get you. We're gonna get you up and running on YouTube, Michael.
Maybe I should. Yeah.
Yeah, you really need to come on here because, we're gonna work on that because you would have so much fun here.
You really would. Yeah.
Hi, John. How are you?
Nice to come by.
Yeah, that's okay. So back to your interview real quick. Who's some of the better interviews that you've had? Who's some of the funnest interviews that you've enjoyed?
Oh my, that's really almost an unfair question because whatever I say, somebody will say, no, mine was the best. But
this interview right here today.
Well, of course, this interview.
This is my best interview ever.
Oh, really? Thank you.
This is definitely one of my funnest. I'm having so much fun with you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, are we kidding me? This has been a hoot.
That's so nice to hear.
I'm still gonna find out though how I found you. I'm telling you, I know I've seen you in print. That's how I found you. That's how I know it. I know it was found it. I know it was in print. Well, now I have to get Chris Alexander up and wake his ass up and sit there and say, dude, did you tell me you didn't you used to run a column in Fangoria called Research My Trash? I know you did. I know it. All right.
That's so weird. I don't mind at all being associated with Fangoria. I have never been, but I don't mind being associated with them.
Well, run with that. So, okay, so you're telling me your favorite interviews, some of your favorite interviews.
Oh yeah. Well, I think my favorite interview is with Deborah Lamb,
Okay.
who's an actress. She's a very cool actress and very cool person, and she's got tons to say, and also we became very good friends after that interview.
She seems like a really nice lady.
She is a very nice lady, yeah. And
I was
so,
actually thinking about approaching her and asking her to do one of these.
well, John, you would have guessed it, yes. We became really close after that, and
okay.
so I just have to give further shout out because.
All right, and have you ever done have you ever done a review? Have you ever done a review and had anybody come after you for it? You know, like, what do you mean my movie wasn't very good? What do you mean by that?
There were, I think, a couple of instances, and I won't tell you any names because that would be unfair. But one was really, even though I think my arguments were very, very, very objective because the movie wasn't well written and wasn't well made. And
what was the title? What was the movie called again?
No, can't tell you.
Oh.
So and he was like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's too long with 2.5 hours.
Oh my God! Was it independent?
It wasn't. It was very independent. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like, yeah, I mean, the dialogue is just way too long. Well, if I do away with the dialogue, then there's only the blood scenes left. Yeah, I mean, not do away with all of it. No, you don't understand. You don't understand filmmaking.
Yeah, get that off. I have never had that.
Yeah, but then on the other hand, there was one another movie I really didn't like, and he was like, "Oh, okay, you make some good points there. Mm-hmm. And then for his next movie, he said, "Hey, man, may I thank you at the end credits?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So that was, sometimes it goes right if you do a bad review.
Yeah, I've only done I've never had anybody come after me. I've never had anybody.
It only happens very rarely.
Yeah. Well, jeez. I mean, I know some directors. They, man, I've heard from I've heard from some critics that yeah, that happens sometimes because the line between like me, I could reach out to touch a director of a movie now. Like I can write and I could actually write questions to these directors, like what were you thinking, or how was your process, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you can never do that. Social media has really, has eliminated the gap. Before it would be like here's the filmmaker up here, and here's the audience here. But
yeah, that's true.
As even the playing field. Now, if I want to write to the director of a movie I didn't like to, I could actually leave him a comment. Well, now whether he sees it or comments back on it is one thing, but he will see what I wrote, and that's the difference. I tell directors, listen, because there's some directors complain about some of their bad reviews, and I just be honest with them. I say, you know what, the easiest way to handle that is this. It's just one voice. It's just one. I mean, if I write there like I didn't like your movie, if I didn't like, who cares if I don't like your movie? Who cares? It's like if I write,
in a very big way, yeah.
This movie was not very good. I didn't like it. I didn't like anything about it or whatever. Okay, who cares? Yeah, but that person can have 100,000 subscribers. Who cares? It's just one voice. It's just one.
That's true.
And to me, it's like I told this one director who was complaining about they showed their film in front of 300 people, and 2 people didn't like it, and they were a little bit more vocal about it. and getting a little upset and says, because here they are. There's one. I didn't get the movie. What were you trying to say? I don't understand. And like, why are you focusing on those two when there's 298 that's sitting there going like it was a good movie?
Yeah.
Just because they're a little louder doesn't make them any more important. Or in fact, it makes them less important. You need to focus on the 298 that really loved your movie.
That's true. That's very true.
So what do you got coming up next? I mean, what are you going to be reviewing anytime soon? I know I skipped over your script, your screenwriters and whatnot, but you know what? I'm going to come back and talk to you about that in another interview because
that would be fun. Yeah, I'd love to come back anytime.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep the whole shot here because I want you to come back for sure.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Would love to.
Now that I interviewed you and I interviewed Brian Scuttle, I'd like to get an interview a couple more film journalists, film critics, because I want to do a roundtable.
Yeah. That would be fun. Yeah.
Table. So I'm thinking. What's next? What's next for Michael and Research My Trash? What are you going to be?
I mean, tons of more reviews. That's all I can really promise you. And there's probably going to be a new one out tomorrow. Don't know if
there's one. If I could just say one thing, I mean, this is just between you and me. Is there any way possible that you could make your print on your website a little bigger, make the page a little bigger? Because it's a little hard to navigate, and I'm wondering if maybe could you make it a little bit bigger? Because as you can see, I'm wearing glasses. I'm half blind, and I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's going to be rather difficult because then it's the whole it would change the whole layout of the site in a way that probably wouldn't work because it wouldn't be too hard to make it bigger, but then I think every other review would look stupid.
Right.
So that's,
I get it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That's the only thing I was sitting on. Like, boy, I was wanting to ask you if something up, if you're going to make it just a little bit bigger. But I love the site. I mean, it's definitely chock full of information. It's easy to navigate. I mean, I love the fact that I really love the fact you did episodic TV. I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to.
It's so much fun in a way because so few people do it.
No, they really don't.
And then there's just stuff on TV that gets forgotten. I do some Austrian and German crime shows, that nobody in the US has ever heard about, and I find it just so funny that I'm the first one who does English language reviews of them. So
yeah, I would like to get more foreign. I mean, I actually worked really hard. I got some BBC stuff. A new studio for me that I've been trying to collect is Acorn. Acorn is like
yeah.
There was a huge series called Midsummer Murders.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Right, and that's made by Acorn.
Oh, okay.
Distributed by Acorn.
I have to watch it.
Acorn Media.
Okay.
I found this English series, George Gently. I found this series at my library.
Okay.
First 4 seasons. Yeah.
Oh.
And this is they had a massive Midsummer Murders at my library, and I was gonna pick it up, but they wanted like $25 for it, And
Huh.
so I passed on it, and I said,
Yeah.
"But I'm gonna pass. But maybe next week, if it's still there, I'll try to get it." Of
Yeah.
course, next week I went there, it was gone. But
Yeah.
but I've been trying to catch more of this Acorn because they seem to be because I'm trying to get more foreign cinema, which is
Yeah.
very hard to find. It's very hard to find. I mean, I
See,
can't find.
you should move to Austria. Every movie's foreign.
Oh, sheesh. Do you guys have video? Do you have video stores in Austria?
Not anymore.
Wow. So
Not
yeah.
anymore. Yeah, like I think this way we're the same as the US.
Yay.
It just died
Yeah.
out,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
ours died out. The last one that died out here, it died out maybe like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. Um,
Oh,
Pandemic just killed it.
uh,
Listen, I want to thank you for showing up and talking with us.
well, ever
Uh,
so welcome. Yeah, it was. I
yeah,
had a great time. I had a
I
great
had an
time.
awesome time too. This is everything I had hoped it would
So
be.
cool. Mm.
Um, I'd like to thank everybody in the chat that came out. I'm going to putting
Yeah,
all
thanks,
of
guys. Thanks for
uh,
coming.
definitely putting Michael's information down in the description box, so you guys can go all check it out.
Please do.
Before I go, since I didn't do this before, but I got to do it now, and if you're more than welcome to stay for this, Michael. I'm sure you can recognize. You know what this is. I'm sure this is right by your desk. It's a
Yes, yes.
calendar.
I've seen something like that before.
Yeah. So before we go, I'll let you know what's coming up on the show. On the 29th of August, we have two shows. On show number one will be on Cadaver Club. If you want to come watch this, I'll let you. I'll send you the links, Michael.
Please do.
Um,
Please do.
the one show I think for sure. Let's see. Well, you know what? I'll send it to you. You'll have to watch on replay because we're at night. The first show is on 8 o'clock on Sunday. We'll be on Ben's Club, the Cadaver Club, as we're going to be watching and talking about The Devil's Candy from IFC Midnight. On the 10th, at 10 o'clock on Sunday, the 29th, back here on my channel, we'll be talking John Hughes movies. Me and Jennifer Tochi, Hobbs Horror, with special guests Splash with Ariel, and Fairy Dust Weeps in the Wind. We'll be here talking about our favorite John Hughes movie. And then the first week of September rolls around, or with the last week of August, we have actor Richard Rossi and actress Rebecca Holden. They will be on the show talking about their new movie Canaan Land.
I had Richard on my site like not long ago.
Oh, okay, good. I'll mention that to him.
Please do.
Yeah, I have to catch up and watch Canaan Land.
It's fun.
Yeah, I don't mind. I actually have reviewed quite a few faith-based movies.
Oh, it's not a usual faith-based movie for some reason. I expected that, but it's very different.
Okay, that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
And I'm
totally.
super psyched to see Rebecca Holden. I remember growing up when she was on Knight Rider, and I remember her, yeah, she was like, yeah.
Yes, she doesn't hear it now. Or maybe she does.
Yeah, I was like when Richard came up there and says, "I got a new movie and I co-starred with Rebecca Holden and would you like to do it? Can we do an interview?" And I'm like,
yeah.
Can you get Rebecca? And so he was able to get Rebecca. So we're going to be talking.
Brilliant.
Aim for the stars, I always say.
Yeah.
And then the first week of September, we are. I don't know if you've ever talked to this young lady before, but if you haven't, you should. And that is actress Brittany Wolf. She'll be here on September 1st.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's awesome, Michael.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Good to know.
I'll give you her contact information. I'll even introduce you to.
Oh, yeah, please do. Yeah.
Yeah, she actually did a written review for me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so she's used to the format. Okay. She'll be here on Wednesday, the 1st of September. That show will be 8 o'clock. So will be Richard Rossi and Rebecca Holden. That'll be 8 o'clock. And then on September 2nd, We have young actor, rising actor Dustin Ardeen. He'll be here at 8 o'clock as well. So yeah, that's what's coming up the next next week on 8 Questions with. And again, thank you so much, Michael. We'll be doing this again sometime really soon.
Yeah,
And
I would love to. Thank you for having me. It was really great fun.
thank you. Everybody in the chat, thank you guys so much for your support.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
we will
guys.
see you soon. Yep. Stay right where you're at, Michael.
Yeah.